Hey folks, we are back with another episode of Please Be Happy. I've been knocking these out like really fast lately, huh? Well,
Ugh,
let's get
it's
back to it.
about time. I was getting bored.
Yes, Miho, I bet you were. My paws carry me across wet leaves and mud. Fog has crept into the forest as stealthily as me. Glimpses of the sky are rare between the trees and the mist. The wild mountains and hills are hidden as well, out of sight but not mind. I run, filled by a sense of purpose. It lightens my steps and pulls me in the right direction. I'm going to see someone I care about very much, and who cares about me. Somehow, we found each other. My person. The path to follow is engraved in my body and mind, almost instinctual. A warm smile, a gentle touch, a kind word. These are the things that draw me forward. I slow down as I get closer to my destination and to the silhouette waiting for me. It's impossibly bright as I approach, my heart pounding in anticipation, like the sun has descended to greet my person too. It matches the feeling in my chest, warming my soul and fur. So bright that when my person turns around, stooping low to greet me, light is all I can see. But I don't need to see, only hear. That voice that I could never forget.
Little fox,
Where is your home?
I awake with a yawn, head on my pillow as the dream fades away. It's been a long time since I've dreamt about the forest. It used to happen a lot, especially when my travels first took me out of Korea, but over time they've stopped. The dreams are always the same. I'm somewhere in the woods, running in the clearing where I'd meet Jongin. There, they'd greet me in the same familiar way. Something was different about it this time, though. Of course, the first thing on my mind after my dream is Aspen. I have a feeling that's how most of my mornings are gonna start from now on. My lips tingle as I recall our kiss yesterday. My first kiss ever, the first of many, I promised, to Aspen. Although the stressful part was over, the rest of the day was equally exhausting. By the time we got back to Aspen's bus to get her stuff, a replacement bus finally showed up and took us back to the city. From there, we dropped off Aspen's things at her apartment, before going back to the library to give Juliet the good news. My legs felt like they were going to fall off, and both Aspen and I agreed to get some rest. Even the anticipation of seeing her today couldn't keep me up, and I feel well rested and excited. But as I roll onto my back, I start to notice something weird. It's like an itch, but in my mind. Something irritating and out of reach and out of me? It takes me a moment, but I realize that it's my bead. I know it's the same way that I knew how to run and hunt and dig. Looking at the baubles around my neck, there's an obvious change. Of all the beads on my necklace, only one is special. Most are just pretty things I collected and stuck on there. Only one has been there with me from the moment I became a Gumiho. Became me. Since then, it stayed exactly the same. No matter how many times I throw or drop or lose it, the necklace comes back to me with the bead unharmed. Not a single scratch or chip or blemish. Until today. Instead of the normal pale white, it started to shine. It's barely brighter than usual. I notice in an instant. In fact, it's almost as if... I hold up my necklace to be sure.
It's glowing.
Just barely, but it is. I rub my thumb over the familiar surface. It doesn't feel any different on the outside. I'm not sure what it means, but it has to be related to yesterday. There's no other way it could pick up today of all days to change. Maybe Aspen was onto something when she said there's no such thing as a coincidence. Either way, it's magic. and magic I can't control. My bead has always been a part of me, but it's something I can only partially understand, and in that wordless animal way I described to Aspen. When the time comes, whatever it is that's coming, I just have to trust that I'll know what to do. Right now, it doesn't matter because something much more important is going to happen, and sooner. Aspen will be here. She's probably already here, so I need to get ready. Going through my quick morning routine, I feel more energized than ever. For once, I'm not nervous, just excited. As I open my bedroom door, I can hear the familiar murmur of conversation in the kitchen. Even the short walk downstairs is enough time to let my heart race. I assume Juliet's in the kitchen when I get there. I only have eyes for Aspen. She looks over from her seat at the table, and the instant she sees me, her face lights up. It nearly stops me in my tracks. I've seen Aspen smile 1,000 times by now. Never like this. Never for me, and me alone. I can't help but do the same.
Good morning, Miho.
Morning.
It's our usual greeting, but it feels brand new. I wonder if all the little things will.
Did you sleep well, Miho?
Like a rock.
I pull my chair closer to Aspen's than usual, as I take my seat and fill my plate.
We were just talking about how tired you must be. I wouldn't have been surprised if you slept until the afternoon.
No way. Then I wouldn't get to see you at breakfast.
Flustered, Aspen doesn't seem to know how to respond. Now that I know the feelings she's hiding, a lot of the other times where that's happened makes way more sense. I giggle as she looks torn between being pleased and embarrassed.
That would be quite a shame. Yes.
But
understandable after you ran across half of Wellington yesterday.
Was it really? It didn't feel like it. But maybe that's why I'm so hungry.
Feel free to help yourself to what's left. Aspen and I have already eaten.
We wanted to wait, but...
It's fine. I don't mind.
Around now is usually when Aspen would start to leave for work, but it's Juliet who stands up first.
I must say, I'm rather sleepy myself. Would either of you mind if I retire a bit early today?
Nope. Aspen and I can clean up, right?
Oh, yes, right, that... I mean, not at all.
Okay, so let me explain my reasoning. I know we did a coin flip to see if we would date Aspen or not, right? But here's my theory. And this is my headcanon, so you know, if you have a different headcanon, buy the game, support the developers, play your own route, whatever. But in terms of story progression, I feel like this is the canon route, right? Cause like Juliet is really cool. She got that like MILF energy, right? But if we went along her route, it's two immortal beings chilling with each other, right? Of course there could be plenty of like drama and whatnot there. But I feel like the route that you want to take for the most amount of character development is Aspen, right? Listen, if you disagree, just buy the game yourself, all right?
I'll wish you both good night then.
Thanks, Juliet. What a great wing woman.
Good night.
Bye.
We both watch as Juliet departs, before turning to face each other. As soon as our eyes met, Aspen looks away again, blushing but laughing.
What is it? What's funny?
Nothing's funny. It's just... it's hard to believe. I mean, us? You and me? You can't imagine how many times I've sat at this table wishing we were like this. Together.
Oh,
That warm, fuzzy feeling from before takes over my face. The one that goes with the realization of how special I am to her. How, out of everyone in the world, I'm the one she feels this way about.
And now...
here we are.
Yes. Here we are.
Everything is the same, but everything is different now, too. It's just as confusing as it is exciting. Now that I'm here alone with her, I'm not sure how to act. Aspen fiddling with her ribbon seems like she's waiting for me to go first. Problem is, I'm not sure what to say. I'm not sure how I should talk to her differently now, or if I even should, or anything really. With just the two of us, I'm suddenly super aware of how out of depth I am. I can't let the silence stretch on too long. I have to say something.
So hey!
I think...
Both of us start and stop talking at the same time. I pause, waiting for her to keep going. And she does the same thing for me. We both laugh together a moment later, and somehow that breaks the ice. It feels like a reassurance before I could even ask for one.
You go.
No, you first.
Oh my god, are you both Canadian? If that's what it takes.
I was going to say that, I don't really know much about this whole dating thing. So if there's...
Aspen shakes her head and puts a finger to my lips to shush me.
That's exactly what I was going to say, Miho. It's all so new to me as well.
She removes her hand, looking at it as if she just now realized what she did. Not that I mind.
So, perhaps we can figure it out together.
together.
I try out the word for myself. Aspen and me. Together.
Yeah, I like that. We can both just do what feels right.
I like the sound of that too.
Aspen's sleeves rustles as she takes my hand, her fingers gently intertwining with mine. It's cool to the touch.
That feels right.
Her soft actions makes me feel braver.
So does this.
I lean forward and kiss her, just for a moment, because a moment may as well be an hour. I'm not sure it'd ever be enough. That was a weird sentence.
I'd say we're off to a good start.
God.
Me too.
Get a room, you two. Just being near each other already feels more meaningful and exciting. Since this is just the beginning, I can't wait to see where things go from here. Of course, I'll have to wait a little bit longer. With her free hand, Aspen checks her phone, and I see her frown in response.
Time to go?
Unfortunately,
She stands up, and I stand with her, still linked by our hands. It feels almost unfair that our daily life, with all its obligations, still matters right now. Aspen hasn't even left yet. I'm already waiting for her to come back.
I wish I could stay here with you longer though.
Me too. Maybe I'll just come buy a bunch of drinks at the Bell House, so I can talk to you at the counter.
Perfect. I can tell my boss I was just engaging with the customers, like she wants us to.
Don't you have a library job, Miho? Both of us laugh again, and Aspen steps forward to lay her head on my shoulder. I lean my head against hers, surprised by how soft her hair is against my cheek.
I really will be thinking of you all day, counting down the hours.
Same. I couldn't think about anything else, even if I wanted to.
Normally, I think twice about saying something so embarrassing, but it actually feels pretty good. We walk together to the front door, taking as long as possible.
See you soon.
Not soon enough.
I stand in the doorway as Aspen slowly walks backwards, holding onto my hand until the very end. She looks into my eyes.
I love you, Miho.
The tips of her fingers linger against mine, and where they touch, it feels like electric. I think the spoutling that Juliet used to describe love and the way it grows. Maybe that word means different things to Aspen and me right now, but I know without a doubt that I want to learn all of them. I want to take a chance with her. I want to try.
I love you too.
And I mean it. We stay like that for just a little longer, not needing to say anything else. Then finally, Aspen turns around and begins to walk down the hill, taking my heart with her. Just like Aspen, I end up counting down the hours until her shift will be over. Too impatient to make it to the end, I leave early and reach the Bell House around the time that they'll be closing for the night. It's not dark out yet, but even from a distance, the inside of the Bell House looks warm and inviting. As I pass by the front window on my way to the door, I spot Aspen, who doesn't notice me. She's helping one of her co-workers stack the chairs up on the tables, and when they finish with that, she goes to organize the sweetener section. While she's doing that, a different co-worker comes over and shows her 2 different loaves of bread, and she thinks for a moment before pointing at one. In the time it takes the other staff to complete a task, Aspen finishes 3, even with people coming up to ask her questions too. Of course, I have no idea what they're talking about, but even from here on the outside of the store, I can see why they want her to run the new Bell House. Leaning against the wall of the cafe, I wait. Most of Aspen's co-workers leave before she does, and it's several minutes before she finally walks out the door at a brisk pace, going right past me.
Aspen!
Maybe I should have picked the route where they're all just friends and so the 3 of them can just hang out. Sometimes you don't, sometimes you just need friends. But, hey, this is the route that we got, so let's go. Spinning around, she quickly goes from surprised to smiling.
Miho! I was just thinking about you. Although that's been true all day.
I got tired of waiting for you at the library, so I decided to come down here so I could see you even sooner.
That earns me a hug and a kiss on the cheek.
I love you. Have I mentioned that?
God, you virgins.
Once or twice, but I don't think I'll get tired of hearing it.
It's like that, like those shitty 4chan green text. So it's like, I feel like Aspen's the one posting it. It's like, be me, work at a Starbucks like cafe, meet Fox Girl, kiss, later versions.
Good, because I don't get tired of saying it.
Aspen links her arm with mine, snuggling against my shoulder. Normally, when someone gets so close to me or touches me, my first instinct is to jump away, but not with Aspen. It's only the first day. I'm surprised myself with just how much I'm enjoying being Aspen's girlfriend. If she hadn't told me her feelings, I probably never would have realized on my own. But once I opened myself up to the idea, I realized that almost all of my favorite memories are with Aspen. When I'm with her, I just have fun. Being around her cheers me up, even if I was in a good mood to begin with. I wonder if the same for her. I hope so, since just being myself has always seemed to make her laugh and smile. Never would have imagined that I'd be able to do that to someone, that they could feel the same way about me, or that I could feel it too. I've never been so glad to be wrong.
So, what do you want to do now?
Well, I need to go home to change and take care of the cats. Would you like to come over?
Whoa. Y'all better keep this PG-13. I ain't about to get demonetized over YouTube.
I can make us dinner later too, if you haven't eaten yet.
Sure! Even if I had, I'd make room for that.
It's settled then, shall we?
Arm in arm, Aspen proudly leads the way to her apartment. The moment she starts to unlock the door, the sound of meowing and scratching claws from the other side turn up.
They're excited to see you too, huh?
Excited to be fed, more like. Scooch, boys.
The cats run around underfoot as Aspen steps inside, with me following behind. As soon as they notice me, the meowing stops and they both scurry away.
Aw, how rude.
You'd better get used to Miho, you two. You're going to be seeing her around a lot more.
Aspen puts her hands on her hips and talks sternly to the sulking cats. They both meow in frustrated response again until Aspen sighs.
Yes, yes, now let's get you fed.
She grabs a jug of cat food from on top of the fridge. A rattling sound makes the cats brave enough to run past me and go harass Aspen some more.
Go ahead and make yourself at home, Miho. I'm going to take care of them and then freshen up, so I'll be a minute.
Okay, take your time.
It's a very small apartment, you know. I sit down on the edge of Aspen's bed, doing my best to not disturb the neatly made sheets. Aspen sets the bowls of cat food on the floor near the door, and the cats position themselves so they can watch me while they eat. Rolling her eyes, Aspen steps over them towards the restroom.
So dramatic. I wonder who they get that from. Anyway, be right back.
It isn't long before the sound of the running shower starts. I look around the apartment, paying closer attention than last time I was here. Because it's so small, it feels like there's something of Aspen's personality in every corner. From the glittering lights strung across the ceiling to the stuffed animals on the bed behind me. I recognize some of the books on the shelves and desk from the library. I'm sure there's a story behind each and every decoration. I'll probably hear more than a few of them eventually. After the cats finish eating, they skulk into the room and sit down across from me, glaring. I wonder if something about my ears and tail makes them mad.
Guess what?
I transform into a fox right in front of them, spreading my tails out like a fan. I don't growl or anything, but I lock eyes with each cat in turn. Immediately, they both yell and run for the bed, tripping over each other as they rush to hide, fur puffing out like clouds. Miho, don't bully the cats. I cackle to myself as I change back and sit down again. Cats are always fun to tease, so some opportunities are just too good to pass up. Before long, Aspen comes out, looking refreshed. She surveys the room just like I did.
Sorry to keep you waiting. I guess there's not a whole lot to do here, is there?
She could browse your laptop as long as there's nothing that you need to wipe from the history first.
It's fine. Wasn't that long. I was just being nosy and admiring all your stuff.
Be as nosy as you'd like. I'm going to start on dinner.
I wouldn't want someone to be nosy in my room. Especially if it's a first date. Nothing really to hide, just wouldn't want that. I feel like that's an invasion of, like, general privacy, right?
Okay. Let me know if you need any help.
Thanks, but just the company is enough. It won't be anything very fancy. I'm much better at making drinks than food.
Don't you make food at the Bell House too?
Not really. We have bakers who come in earlier than I do to prepare most of it. I just have to heat things up and serve them. Unlike our beverages, which I make from scratch. Speaking of which, would you like some coffee or hot cocoa? I'll be making some for myself.
Bro, if you work in a coffee shop, you'll have like hot chocolate and coffee throughout the whole entire day, I feel like. I wouldn't want more when I got home, you know? Unless you drink water throughout the whole day. I don't know.
Sure. I'll have whatever you have.
That's easy enough. Now let's see.
Cheers. I have got a drink myself here. Ah. It's water. Aspen moves around the tiny cooking area. Calling it a kitchen would be a stretch. With the same kind of graceful confidence I've seen her use when working at the Bell House. I guess some of the tasks are the same. She starts to fill a pitcher of water from the sink while scooping coffee grounds into the machine at the same time. When the pitcher's ready, she swaps it out with another pot. This one's for cooking. That fills up while she finishes getting the coffee set up and brewing. Then she starts pulling ingredients out of the few cabinets that line the kitchen area. The cooking area, god, oof, I guess that water destroyed my brain.
What are you gonna make?
I'm not really sure what it's called. It's a dish Mum used to make. It was one of the first things I learned how to cook, because it's always reminded me of home. And it's easy to make. Is there anything like that for you? A meal that tastes like home?
Nah, not really. Julie asked me that before too. I don't know if I ever had a full meal while I was in Korea, since I just stole what I needed to survive.
Oh, right. I should have remembered that you...
Aspen bites her lip, looking unsure of how to phrase whatever she was going to say.
Live like that? It's fine. I don't mind talking about it. Especially not with you.
If you're sure, I don't want to bring up anything that's difficult for you to talk about.
Don't worry. You won't. There's nothing like that, honestly. Most of it just blurred together over time, so be as nosy as you want.
I'll be sure to keep that in mind.
The pile of ingredients Aspen stacks up has pasta, a few kinds of vegetables, and a few different cans. I told you it was pasta!
Would you mind giving me a hand, actually? Do you think you could chop up these vegetables for me?
Listen, every country in the world has some sort of noodle dish. There just has to be. If there isn't... I was about to say something really rude, but that's okay. You're just not as good of a country if you don't have a noodle dish, alright?
Sure! Just show me how.
Don't cut your hands. Aspen demonstrates how to hold a knife, and then covering my hands with hers, guides me through the motion to cut the veggies.
Don't worry too much about making them all the same size. Close enough is fine.
Yeah, I actually really like to cook, but I just kind of rush when I cook. So I tend to not make my cuts as even as they should. But the food always turns out good. The food mostly turns out good.
That's good. Because I think same size might be impossible.
In the time it takes me to chop up a couple of zucchini and onions, Aspen takes care of everything else.
Are these ready?
As they'll ever be.
I pass the cutting board to Aspen, being careful not to spill. In the end, most of the chunks didn't even turn out the same shape, much less size. But Aspen tosses them into a hot pan anyway, and before long, the delicious aroma fills the room.
That smells amazing.
Hopefully it'll taste good too.
I don't have any doubts myself. I don't think Aspen will be satisfied until the dish is done. Since she seems so focused on watching the sautéing veggies and boiling pasta, I don't talk so I don't distract her. A few minutes later, Aspen combines everything into one pan, mixing it all together with a wooden spoon. He dishes out a couple of spoonfuls onto a pair of plastic plates and hands me one, along with a fork.
Well, bon appetit. I wish there was a table we could sit at. I usually just eat at my desk. You can have that spot, and I'll take the bed.
That's fine. I can sit on the floor.
The floor?
Yeah, it's where I watch TV in my room too.
I'll join you then.
We both settled down on the ground, setting our plates in our laps. Noticing something, Aspen leans to the side.
Percy? Byron? What are you two doing back there?
I lean over to peek under the bed too. Four angry green eyes stare at me from the darkest, farthest corner. Feigning innocence, I sit back up.
Huh. Wonder what their problem is.
Miho, don't gaslight cats. They'll get you back at some point. Well, I guess in this case, they'd be too scared to.
I guess they're just not used to having company. It's been a long time since they've met anyone aside from you and Juliet.
That must be it.
I don't mention that I might have something to do with it too. But hey, the cat started it. Grabbing my fork, I turn my attention back to dinner. I try to make sure to get every little bit of everything in my first bite. It's still hot off the stove, so I have to blow on it to cool it off. Yeah, I actually burned my mouth really badly making pasta not too long ago. I posted a picture on my Twitter. Go check out my Twitter. I'm being, wow, I'm being very pushy lately, huh? Aspen watches anxiously while I chew, waiting to start eating her own meal.
Well? How is it?
Whoa. This?
No, I need to find a better way to describe it than usual.
It's delicious.
Really? Oh, I'm glad you think so.
Really, really.
The food itself is good, but it tastes even better knowing that Aspen made it. I'd scarf down my whole plate and then get up for seconds. After cleaning my plate the second time, I finally set it aside along with my fork.
Did you have enough? There's still more if you want.
I'm good. Thanks, though. That was seriously great. Thanks for making it.
Yeah, home-cooked meals are really good for the soul, the mind, and the body.
I'm just happy to hear you enjoyed it. It's been ages since I've cooked for anyone other than myself.
It's one of the best meals I've ever had.
That just means you need to have more good meals. There are lots of restaurants here in Welly that I've wanted to try, but didn't want to go alone.
Nah, listen here, folks. If you have a restaurant or place you want to go to that you want to try, just take yourself on a date, man. It's good for you.
Maybe we can visit some of those together.
Sure. I'm not sure if I'd like any of them as much as this, though.
Laughing, Aspen puts her plate aside and scoots closer to me, laying her... sorry, coughing fit off cam. Laying her head on my shoulder again. Her hand finds mine on the floor, and she loosely wraps her finger around mine.
I keep thinking I'm getting used to you flattering me, but I still love it every time.
Ladies, it's only your first, official day together as a couple. You know.
It's true. I'm just saying what I think.
I know. That's one of the things I love about you. One of many, many things. I've never felt anything but ordinary, as much as I'd like to, and as much as I'd like to pretend I wasn't.
Ordinary's fine, Aspen. Don't worry about that.
But you really do make me feel otherwise. I'm so happy I met you, Miho. I hope you don't get tired of hearing that.
Never.
Even though things have changed so much, the morning routine is more or less the same. The three of us chit-chat about our lives and mundane things until we finish eating. After pushing her empty plate away, Aspen leans in.
So, Miho, there's something I've been thinking about. And I understand if this is something you wouldn't even want to consider. But have you ever thought about finding a way to stop your magic?
Juliet also turns to look at me, putting me on the spot.
Not that I can remember. That's like asking if you've thought about finding a way to stop your nose from working.
I see. I thought that might be the case.
I'm not sure if I've ever heard of such a thing either. But that doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
I was just thinking about the other day and about how dreadful it all was to go through. Of course, I don't want to speak for Miho. I know it's much more complicated than just that. But I thought I might bring up the idea, at least.
You've got a point. Not having to worry about people forgetting me would be a huge relief.
Right, I thought you might agree.
I look at Juliet, expecting her to give an opinion, but she doesn't offer one. It's true that life would be a lot easier without my magic. Well, half true. This life would be easier, but the life I used to lead, I couldn't have survived without it.
Well, it's purely hypothetical right now anyway. For all we know, it might be impossible. So no need to think about it too much.
It's worth thinking about, though.
Oopsie. I do that a lot. I'm sorry. The only two people who actually remember me are in this room right now. All the other people I've met here in Welly, I couldn't really call them my friends, as much as I've liked spending time with them. Every time we see each other is the first time as far as they're concerned. Maybe that wasn't so bad when I'm still on the fence about whether or not I'd even stay in this town. But now that I've been here a while, long enough to build something worth missing, I wish I could just make those connections into something more secure. Even if there's nothing I can do about my magic, I can at least try to figure out a way to maintain friendships with others too, not just Aspen and Juliet.
It couldn't hurt to find out, right? It's not like I have to go through with it or anything if I don't want to.
Exactly. Simply being informed is never a bad idea.
So, does that mean you have an idea?
Well, not quite. But I'd be happy to start doing some research on the topic. If we're going to find anything, it's likely to be in a book. And if there's one thing I'm good at, it's reading.
Good luck with that. Let me know what I can do to help.
I'd be glad to lend a hand as well. Perhaps I could find someone who'd be knowledgeable about Gumiho. Myth and folklore are often at odds with reality, so it can be difficult to discern what's true and what isn't.
Someone who'd know about Gumiho, huh?
One person comes to mind. I'm not sure how willing she'd be to help. I still haven't mentioned the other Gumio I met to Aspen and Juliet. In my head, I've started to call her Silver. It just feels wrong somehow. If someone had told other people when I was around, I would have been furious with them. It would have made hiding and stealing a whole lot harder too. So as a fellow Gumio, I've kept Silver's existence a secret from everyone else so far. For all I know, there could be more than just Silver. There could be a whole community of Gumiho here in Wellington, and I'd have no idea. I don't think that's the case though. Besides, Silver seems unhappy enough with one intruder on her territory as it is. Maybe that's something else I can ask her. I don't know when or where, but somehow, I know I haven't seen the last of her. For now, I just sit back and listen as Aspen and Juliet discuss various books and theories to start with. I feel like I should be more involved. It is my magic after all, but this is one area where I can't really contribute. I can't stay out of it forever and let them take care of me again. I have to try something on my own too. I can't just refuse to participate in my own future. Those are some wise words, Miho. As it gets closer to time... As it gets closer to time for Aspen to leave, Juliet checks the clock and then stands up.
Off to bed?
Not yet, actually. Would you mind staying just a moment longer, Aspen? I have something I'd like to give Miho. It's somewhat related to what we were just talking about.
Oh, no, I don't mind.
For me? What is it?
You'll see. I'll be right back.
Disappearing upstairs, I hear Juliet enter her study for a moment before returning with a small, nicely wrapped box.
There's no particular occasion, but still, I felt like wrapping it.
Juliet hands me the package, which I take carefully. It's not heavy, but it's not light either. I turn it over and over, examining it. I've never gotten a gift before. Clearing her throat, Aspen seems a bit impatient.
Don't just keep us in suspense.
Okay.
I tear off the paper that Juliet so beautifully wrapped the package with, revealing...
Oh, wow.
I bet it's clothes. It's a phone. One that I recognize. Oh, never mind.
It's the same as Aspen's.
What a coincidence, right?
I consulted Aspen to make sure I got the same one. I thought it would be best if she can help show you how to use it. I'm a little behind the times on things like devices.
As gently as I can, I open the box and take out the phone itself. It's sleek and shiny, and cold to the touch. I hold it in both hands to make sure I don't drop it.
Thank you. Really. This is the nicest thing I've ever owned.
Think nothing of it. As you have more loved ones and responsibilities, it's important that you be able to stay in touch. In fact, that was what gave me the idea in the first place. Like Aspen, I'd also been thinking about your magic and the ways that it might work. So I wonder, would seeing someone in a video call serve to refresh someone's memory of you? Or is it necessary to see each other in person?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I can't believe I never thought to ask that before.
Neither Aspen nor I would want to gamble our memories of Miho, in case it turns out not to work. So we need to find someone else to participate in our little experiment.
Lena would be fine, right?
With that in mind, I'm not sure who to ask. It's a harmless trial, but still a bit much to ask of a total stranger.
Someone willing to try something weird without hesitation. I'll text Lena.
Well, there you go, see? Lena. While Aspen does that, I stare at the device in my hands. That something so small really solves so many of my problems. It wouldn't be a perfect solution, but it would be a lot better than nothing if this works. Even if not, I won't let that change my early decision to find out some way to be remembered by the people I've met. Just like researching my magic, I can't leave everything to someone else or hope for an easy way out. Once again, wise words, Miho.
All right, Lena says she's willing to give it a go. I told her I'd explain more when I saw her. Usually you'd think those would happen in the other order, but this is Lena we're talking about.
Miho, would you like to come down to the Bell House to see her with me now? Sure. As long as Juliet doesn't mind me leaving the library.
By all means. I'm eager to see if this works as well.
So it's settled then. Shall we be off, Miho?
Lena's waiting for us outside the Bell House when we arrive.
Morning, boss!
Hey, Lena.
So, you're the person with the weird memory thing, right?
Yep, that's me.
You sound so proud of it, Miho. I've already introduced myself to Lena more times than I can count. Still, what's one more? This will be a great start to my new goal of making sure the other people I've gotten to know don't keep forgetting me.
I'm Miho. We've met before, actually. At tennis and at the Bell House and a few other times, too.
Okay, makes sense to me. So how do we do this?
Really? That's it?
Yo, listen, Lena is a ride or die. That's all you need. If you got a buddy like that, that's a good buddy, okay? I'm not saying they need to be your number one homie, but they gotta be in your top 3 for sure.
What you mean?
I would have thought you'd take more convincing than that. I guess I'm not surprised, but
Nah, it lines up. I remember doing all those things that Miho mentioned, but I couldn't think of who I was with. Now I can stop trying to remember that and devote that brain power to something else.
yes, well, I'm sure you'll need it. So, let's see.
I just need to get Miho's number, right? And then video call her tonight?
Right. Any time should be fine as long as it's before this time tomorrow. Miho can come with me again in the morning, and we'll see if you know who she is.
You got it! I'll try extra hard to remember her.
I'm not sure it works like that, unfortunately. I wish it were that simple.
Maybe it is, and you just didn't try hard enough.
Placing a finger on either temple, Lena closes her eyes and hums deeply.
Does that help?
Shh, don't interrupt!
Lena hums for a little longer, and then opens her eyes with a wink and a thumbs up.
Okay, got it! Of course it helps. It's my secret technique.
Whoa! If it works, then maybe you can teach Aspen too.
I think I'm alright, actually.
But what if it's really useful?
That's a very big if.
Oh, whatever. You'll see tomorrow when I remember all of this. Anyway, Miho, what's your number?
It's,
I pull out the phone Juliet gave me, inspecting it closely.
I'm not sure where it is.
Shouldn't it be written somewhere? I look around the edges, trying to find anything that seems fitting.
Let's do this instead. Miho, may I see your phone?
I hand the device to Aspen, who swipes one finger up and begins to quickly tap through the screens.
Whoa, you're a pro at this. Juliet's a lot slower whenever she uses hers.
I'm not sure that Juliet's the right standard. She still prefers a landline when she can. Okay, here. I saved Lena's number for you, Miho. Now you can call her so she can save your number.
Right. Okay, let's see.
Taking my phone back, I try to remember how to do that. Lena comes and watches from behind Aspen.
New phone?
Moving away, Aspen brushes imaginary dirt off her shoulder.
You're in my bubble.
Pop? That's the same kind Aspen has, right?
Yup! This is the first phone I've owned.
Wow, really? So then how do you check Triller or Space Face?
What are those?
What are those?
Stumbling backwards, Lena seems like she's at a loss for words, which might be a first for her. I guess she does have something in common with Aspen.
Wow, you really do have a lot of catching up to do. I'll help you get set up when I call you. It's like, you can't not have a Triller, even though it's terrible, I hate it, but you have to have it. Space Phase, I don't know about. Everyone you...
Okay, I think that's enough, Lena.
Okay, so that's the thing, right? Like, that narrows down the real life equivalent to, like, not at all. It's like, yes, a social media app that everyone hates and is terrible, but you have to have it? That narrows it down to nothing.
Oh, you never let me finish talking!
You never would finish talking if I didn't stop you.
That's not true!
For a second, Lena seems pretty serious, but then she thinks about it for a second.
Well, maybe a little, but just a little. Anyway, it's fine. I'll tell Miho when I talk to her tonight. See you guys later!
I'm going to be in there with you in like 2 minutes.
That's later, isn't it?
She's technically right. Lena flaps her wings proudly as she walks into the bell house.
You let her win, huh?
Sometimes it's better to just let her go. But I'm glad she said she'd help out. She's a mess, but she sticks to her word at least.
You two seem pretty close.
Do we? We started working here at the same time, so we spent a lot of time together. You've spent more time with her outside the Bell House than I have, though. She can be a lot, but she comes through when it matters. Like with this.
I knew before messaging her that she'd be willing to help out. It's just how she is.
Don't you dare tell her I said that, though.
Stepping towards the bell house door, Aspen turns to say goodbye to me.
Well, it's my least favorite time of the day. Time to say goodbye.
It's not too late to ditch work and hang out with me instead.
Believe me, it sounds more and more tempting each day.
That just means I have to keep trying. I should probably get back to the library too, though.
Yes, don't let me keep you. As much as I'd like to.
God. Get a room, you two. We come together for a quick kiss. I like this new routine of doing that every time we say goodbye.
I'll see you tomorrow then.
Of course. You know where to find me.
Yo, you guys have like a massive height difference though, so like... No offense, but I totally can't see Aspen being the bottom here. So Miho's definitely like stepping up, like on her tippy toes to reach Aspen, you know?
Good. I hope you have a wonderful day, Miho. I love you.
I love you too. Have a good day at work.
I'll do my best.
Aspen walks inside, and the bells over the door chime like they're happy to see her. I wait until the door fully closes behind her, and she disappears from sight before I head out of my way. Head out on my way. Whoop-a-da-ba-da-ba-da. Is it free time? Oh no, I got a call. It's almost bedtime when my phone finally buzzes, startling me and almost making me drop my phone on my face. Lena's name pops up and I tap what I hope is the right button.
Hello? Miho? Can you hear me? It's Lena.
What's up, Lena? Her face fills the screen, making it pretty easy to see who it is. I wiggle the phone around, trying to make it point at my face. Problem is, it's reversed, so I keep confusing myself. How does Aspen use this thing so much?
Hi! I see you! Can you see me?
Yep. Hi.
She waves at the camera for freehand. I have to sit up to do the same.
Thanks for calling. This is gonna be a big help.
No, yeah, no problem. Sorry I've forgotten you so many times. I know I'd be totally upset if people couldn't remember who I was. It's like, hello? How can you forget me?
It's alright. I'm pretty used to it by now.
Yeah, but still, it's gotta suck. I've got an idea, though. I'll just call you like this every night, and that way I won't forget you, right? If this works out, I mean.
Yeah. If it works. I really, really hope it does. Still, every night...
Even if this phone makes it a lot easier, that's a lot of phone calls to make. Forever. Funny how that word keeps getting in my way.
Yeah, it's no big deal, though. I mean, I'm always on my phone before I go to bed anyway, so I can just make calling you part of my routine, like brushing my teeth and stretching. Ever since I quit ballet, I have more free time, so I can fit it in. That way I won't forget to do it. That would be kind of funny if I did, though. Not like funny, but funny like ironic. I think that's how you use that word. Aspen always tells me I'm wrong, though. Actually, speaking of Aspen...
Lena goes on to tell me a story about work today, which turns into a story from work the day before. She goes on like that for a while. I try to smile and laugh when it seems appropriate, but my arm is starting to get sore from holding out my phone like this. Finally, she runs out of steam and yawns. switching into sleepy mode in seconds.
Anyway, I just thought that was funny. I'm gonna go to bed now. I'm super tired. You're coming to the Bell House in the morning, right?
Yup. I'll be there with Aspen.
Okay, see you soon then. I hope. Well, I'll see you either way. But I hope I remember you. Sorry if I don't.
That's fine. Thanks for trying. Good night.
I try to figure out how to hang up, my finger hovering over the screen like I'm about to squish a bug. Fortunately, Lena does it first, and that ends the call for both of us. I lie back down in bed with my phone in my hand. It isn't heavy, but it's definitely a big deal. If this works out with Lena tomorrow, it could change everything for me again. I'm not sure if Lena really thought about what she was getting into when she said she'd call me every day. Same goes with Aspen and Juliet, of course. I'm sure all of them mean it when they promise, but those are really hard promises to keep, no matter who's making them. Even though they're all willing to go through so much trouble for me, odds are, at some point, at least one of them will eventually miss a day, and that'll be that. No second chances. Even if we started over, it would never be exactly the same. With my other hand, the one that isn't holding the phone, I reach up and grab my necklace, feeling the warmth of my bead. It's been a big pain lately, but for such a long time, my magic was the most useful tool, my secret weapon. As much hiding and scavenging as I did before, it would have been 10 times worse if any of my crimes had followed me. Are those days really past me now? Permanently? Aspen's idea about stopping my magic is interesting, and I can't get it out of my head. Being able to be remembered by everyone I care about is the number one thing I could ask for right now. But will it always be that way? Say there was a way I could change things and make it so people didn't forget me. What if it wasn't possible for me to change my mind later? Sure, it sounds nice at the moment, but forever is a long time. I keep being reminded of that. I tug my necklace up so that I can see the bead. It still has a soft white glow to it. I wish I knew what it meant. I wish I knew what any of it meant or how it worked. I wish I didn't have to deal with these questions and problems. Of all the forms for my magic to take, it had to be this confusing one. Gripping my bead in my fist, I yank my necklace off my neck and hurl it away from me. It clatters and rattles as it hits the wall and then the floor, lying like a snake in darkness. Closing my eyes, I silently count in my head. 1, 2. There's no flicker or pop as my necklace reappears around my throat, as if it had never left. My bead hasn't changed at all, not that I expected to. Sighing, I roll over onto my side, not tired enough to sleep, but not feeling like doing much else either. This necklace has felt like a lot of things before. A comfort, a memento, a guide. It's been my one constant since the beginning. Right now, heavy against my pillow, it feels like an anchor. Like always, the next morning, I'm cheered up by seeing my friends. After a quick breakfast, Aspen spreads out some sheets of paper on the table, and Juliet and I both crowd in to see.
So I started doing some research on Gumiho. I found plenty of information that I thought was interesting, but I'm not sure how much of it will be useful.
Hey, that does sound just like me.
Oh, don't say that.
I'm just kidding.
Good. As I was saying, it's hard to figure out what's accurate and what isn't. A lot of the specific details would have had to come from the Gumiho themselves, and as far as I can tell, none of them are talking. I couldn't find anything about memory or forgetting. Maybe it's self-explanatory, why not? Beyond that, most of what seemed accurate were things that we already knew, like being able to change into a fox. Have you had any luck, Juliet?
I'm afraid not. I checked what books I could think of, and none of them yielded any more than you said. I'm not aware of anyone else around who might be helpful either, unfortunately. Of course, it's only been a couple of days so far. I'll keep looking. We're bound to learn something eventually.
I'll keep looking too. There was one other thing that came up I thought might be worth mentioning.
Oh?
I read a lot about Gumiho carrying a special bead that has something to do with their magic. You have one of those yourself, right?
I remove my necklace, more gently than last night, and hold it out for them to see.
Yeah. I've had it my whole life.
May I see it?
You can try.
I pass it to her, and Aspen handles it delicately.
Pardon? What do you mean?
It poofs out of her hand and back around my neck.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I couldn't get rid of it, even if I wanted to.
Am I wrong? Or is it glowing?
Nope, it's absolutely glowing. I wanted to mention that, but I thought it was just my eyes playing tricks on me.
Yeah, that part's new. I was in bed when I noticed it a couple days ago. I know it's important, but not how or why.
Your wild instincts inform you.
Juliet says it so matter-of-factly. Not like there's something bad, or that I should have gotten rid of. There's still a part of me. My other self? No. The other part of me hasn't gone away, even as I've spent more time away from it. When I first came to Wellington, I still thought of myself as a fox. Now, I'm not sure how I see myself. But my bead and its mysteries are a reminder that I'm something different.
Well, that sounds promising. It means something is happening, even if we're not sure what. Let us know if you notice it changing in any other ways, Miho. The more knowledge we have, the better.
Yeah, I will.
Once again, think of Silver and her bead, which shone much more than mine. Will mine look like that someday? Wonder what it took to make hers glow so brightly. Maybe even Silver doesn't know how the bead works. If it was instinctual, then shouldn't I understand too? I guess I'll just have to ask sometime. I wrap my necklace back around my neck, popping the magnetic clasp together.
One way or another, we'll soon know more about Miho's magic from your experiment.
Yes, I think it's just about time for Miho and I to head out. By the time we get there, it'll have been a full day.
I'm ready to go if you are. You know I hate sitting around waiting.
Another thing we have in common. All right then, let's be off.
Good luck, you two. Let me know how it goes.
Will do.
Jump cut. This time, when we get to the Bell House, Lena isn't waiting outside.
There's always a chance she just forgot in the regular way. I should have texted her first.
Guess we'll find out.
For what feels like the 1,000th time in the last few weeks, I'm shaky with nervous energy. At least there's not any risk here. In the worst case scenario, nothing changes. I take the lead and open the door for Aspen, then follow her in. Lena's behind the counter.
Hey, boss!
She looks at me.
Who's your friend?
You tried your best, Lena. I tried to hide the disappointment from my face. Well, it was worth a shot. It's too bad, but at least I was prepared.
Miho, I'm
just messing with you.
Don't do that, Lena. That's so rude. Yo, don't freaking do that. Come on. Yo, no.
I remember everything. Told you my secret technique would work. I'll call you again tonight.
Aspen leans against me in relief. Collapse might be a better way to put it. I can tell she's thinking the same thing I am. Dealing with events like her trip home just got a lot easier to deal with.
God, Lena, you nearly gave me a heart attack. But I'm so glad to hear it that I don't even care.
Me too.
Freaking Lena. A huge weight feels like it's been lifted from my shoulders. Not all of my problems are solved. At least some of them are. Still at my side, Aspen holds my hand, and Lena's eyes bug out in shock.
Wait, are you two?
Yep, absolutely. They are on the... All of the jokes and euphemisms have vanished from my brain. After giving me a quick kiss on the cheek, Aspen nods.
Why, yes, we are.
Lena looks like she's seen a ghost.
Oh, no way! You seriously started dating someone before I did? I thought I had that one in the bag!
Like usual, I wasn't aware we were competing, but I certainly did win in this case.
Well, I guess just this once it's fine, since you two are pretty cute together. But I'll win next time!
And what exactly is next time?
Not sure yet, but I'll figure that out soon. I guess I'll leave you two lovebirds alone for a bit. Talk to you tonight, Miho.
Bye!
Putting her headphones in, Lena disappears into the back of the cafe, leaving the lobby to Aspen and me.
I do only have a bit, unfortunately. Probably better that no customers walk in like this. But I'm really glad this worked.
Me too. Now we don't have to worry anymore.
Not nearly as much, at least. I'll be busy this evening, but I'll call you later, and I'll see you tomorrow, okay?
Okay. I should go tell Juliet that our idea worked too.
I'm sure she'll be overjoyed as well. Have a good day at work, and I'll try to message you if I can, alright?
Yeah. I'll try to figure out how to send a response.
Don't worry, I'm sure you'll have lots of practice. Talk to you again soon. But not soon enough.
Bye.
We give each other a quick hug, and then I head back to the library to deliver the good news. Like we expected, Juliet's also relieved. She gives me a quick lesson in how to send messages, although she's almost as slow as I am. I spend most of my shift working, texting Aspen when I can, and looking forward to tomorrow. Alright, that's it for today, boys, girls, everything in between, everything outside of that. Yep. Once again, thank you all for watching.
Time to take a break.